So this video is about how I set up my LT1 t56 that came with my car to work with my 99 Gen 3 5.3 because I had a lot of questions and I got a lot of great ideas but not a lot of definitive answers about what needs to be done to make this all work. So I knew this because there's tutorials online, plenty of tutorials on how to swap this stuff over and get the input shaft out the front, which the trans shop will say you can't do, but you can do. If you stand it up in a stack of tires, you can pry the other stack of gears over slightly. You can sort of jiggle the handle, and it comes out. You just have to be careful you don't move a bunch of stuff out of alignment in it. You do run that risk, and you could probably break something if you pry too hard. After that, eBay, I'm going to go approximate eBay prices. $250 front plate, $280 bell housing. These are LS Camaro stuff, LS1 Camaro. You need a I actually was using Corvette clutch parts. That is an interesting detail. $100 bought me something with an LS3. I don't know what year exactly. Hydraulic throwout, flywheel, because you need a manual flywheel, pressure plate, clutch stuff, all of it. And I went to put it all together with the Camaro input shaft, and this is for all intents and purposes now an LS Camaro transmission. And it just sat like this far apart. So I went ahead and I decided to order a different throwout bearing because it seemed like this was running into the clutch, the end of this thing, before it could go together. And it goes together now. So as far as I can see so far, that's all you need to do. You can use the Corvette, everything else from the Corvette other than the bell and probably the front plate's different. But if you want to use the clutch stuff and the flywheel, it's the same. But the throwout it's about this much shorter, the Camaro one next to this. Now the next thing I'm going to try and figure out for you guys is I have the LT1 master cylinder in here still. I'm going to take it out. This looks like it's pinned in the same way that this fitting is pinned into the LS1 hydraulic throwout, and it's $500 for the whole setup, the whole hydraulic setup for this car. It'd be a lot more just to get the new parts versus if I can adapt this in, and if it just pushes enough fluid, logic would tell me that it will push the clutch open and it will work. So that will be the next question. Answer for you guys is, can I adapt the LT1 master cylinder to work on the LS1 Camaro style hydraulic throwout bearing and push my clutch open. I had to take everything off the front, as you can see over there, to get the lift close enough, and now with the cylinder touching this, it just barely gets it. It's like you got to get it there, and then you get the jack under the trans and lift it up, and then you kick it a few times, and it just goes back far enough. The truck engine mounts pretty much sit just slightly back and right on top of these, so I'm just going to put those on there, weld them on probably, or figure out a way to flange and bolt. And if I have to permanently attach that to those, then my new point for getting the engine out will be unbolting out the block, and those can just stay. It's the way my 383 Stroker RX-7 had the engine mounted, so that worked okay. Another sloppy technique that I'm going to figure out here is, can I just leave the dead power steering pump not being used, just loop a line on it or something, put some fluid in it, and will that last? Because it all fits, all the truck stuff fits in this car, and it would be really nice just to not have to buy any other belt crap and just leave that on there. I thought I'd show you a couple interesting things about how they put this together before. Just the bolt welded onto is the spacer for the clutch, and the master cylinder there is just this whatever linkage. I don't know if that's original or close to it or something, but this obviously isn't, but I don't know about this. That just goes and it directly pushes the cylinder that's just stuck in the floor right there. And that was working. It wasn't hooked to anything, and I pressed it really hard and it bottomed out, and I shoved it in the carpet just being dumb, and it snapped off. So I'm going to botch that back up good and just hope that it lasts forever, because it probably will. Also, you look in here and you don't see immediately anywhere a shifter comes out, because it comes out here And before, they had some homemade crappy bracket that came forward off of the T56 shifter, barely cleared this, it rubbed it, and then it came up to like here. And it was awful. The shifter sat right like here, and not enough leverage to get it in reverse past the lockout thing.